jump into some of the questions that we've got from some of our candidates that have posted these in. If you're a candidate, contractor, or in a permanent role, or thinking about your career, if you're generally in technology areas, if you're interested in posting a question, please, you can send it to us via Facebook, just put it in a messaging, or you can tweet us, or send it via Instagram. We're going to jump straight into questions, if that's all right, Mark.
Yep.
We got some good questions this week. The first one is a question that came in from Azim. Azim's a project coordinator in London. He wanted to know, what can he do to make himself more marketable to other companies? The background is he's been working with local government for some time, local government, public sector, I believe, and seems to be having issues getting away from this and working with private sector industries. What's your thoughts?
Okay, I think we've done, kind of make yourself more marketable or more recognisable quite a lot, I think.
Yeah.
So we always talk about doing something differently. So LinkedIn, get yourself out there, get yourself seen. Maybe put together a little bit of content around yourself. Maybe write some blogs, a little bit about what you're looking to do, a little bit what interests you. But maybe within your current company, okay, it's public sector, it sounds like you're trying to get out public sector, but maybe put yourself up for some of the more, I don't know, forward-thinking projects that are using latest technology. I think that'd be a good start. What about you? What do you think?
It's a difficult one. I mean, there's definitely companies and there's definitely people that will presume that because you're in public sector, they may think it's not as fast-paced as being in some of the private sectors. Now, that might be true in some cases, but it's not true in all, and obviously it's down to the individual as well. So I don't want to comment on that. What I would say is some of the candidates I've seen move across quite well have been the ones that have communicated what they've done and added value. They've followed up on the CVs that they've sent to us. I know that from the past, and they put themselves out there to explain the value they've added. So what I'd suggest, Azim, is talk about some of the things on your CV where you've actually saved the company money, either or saved the time, delivered projects within a certain timeline, added value, stakeholders you've helped to support in that project coordinator role, and where you can add value. And I think if you can get those points across and you follow up on your applications, you should find that you'll get a better success rate. That's in my opinion.
Yeah, and maybe focus on your strengths. So if it's a technology strength, focus on that with regards to your applications. You know, if a requirement from one of the companies you're approaching is for somebody with industry-specific experience that you don't have, probably not going to work. So let's focus on the areas that you do have, and I think use that as a good start.
Great advice there. Now we've got Clive is working as a test manager in Amsterdam. He just wanted to ask us, how many candidate applicants do you tend to get for each contract role? So he's a contractor, and how do we choose who we select for the roles?
Good question, and it can vary massively. So depending on the skill set, as to how specific something is, how focused something is, we could be looking at as small as 3 or 4 applicants, and then something more general that seems to be active in the market or lots of people available for, then it could be over 150 applicants. Really depends. With regards to how we go through and select who we're going to talk to, who we're going to put forward, a lot of that will depend on timescale. So with some vacancies or some requirements from a customer, you'll have up to probably 48 hours to find the right people. More often than not, you're trying to find the right people in the space of 24 hours. So it really will depend on that. So difficult to say, but clearly we're focusing on the exact skill match, or as close as possible. Culture fit, industry experience if required or if necessary, and availability is also a good pointer. More often than not, we'll need a contractor to start as soon as possible. Clearly, if someone's indicating that early stage is not available for 5 to 6 weeks, that's going to make the selection quite easy. I think that's pretty much it with regards to.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer there. I hope that was helpful for you, Clive. We've got Farshal is a PMO based in Cologne. Thanks for this, and we'd like to know what we think about adding references on CVs, and does it add value, or is it better just to wait and be asked?
Personally, I would wait to be asked. I think if you start putting references on CVs, and I don't know how many applications you're making, but if every single person you're sending a CV to, or every person that's seeing your CV is full up on those references, your references won't want to be references for very long, I think. So I personally would say wait until the later stages when they're requested, so as not to dilute the value of the reference itself, and to stop the person that's providing you the reference getting swamped with calls about you. Also, recommendations on LinkedIn work really, really well. Nothing wrong with that. But I think with regards to if it's a personal reference to be taken via a personal email or personal telephone call, I would limit that to the later stages of the process.
Okay, great. And of course, I would suggest that exactly as Mark said, that, get as many reference referrals on your LinkedIn recommendations, because that will really add weight to your application. One thing that often people forget about is they do them and they haven't done them for 5 years, and you should think about that every few months or every time you move a project. Thanks for that. Malcolm's a project manager, works in London with a telecoms operator, and asked, do managers ask for references and do they call them before hiring, even for contract roles?
It's a good question. Some do, some don't, but they will expect us to have done. So at some point references are going to be important. Some, I think, recently have actually taken references themselves.
They have,
and that may be as well as us already doing them, but just for peace of mind. Others will just rely on the fact that we've done it and ask us to provide a breakdown as to the reference itself. But yeah, he will be asked to provide references at some point during the process. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't.
I guess also it depends, Malcolm, on the location of the role. So I even saw last week we were asked for references from the hiring manager because they couldn't meet the candidate in person. They'd done a Skype or video interview, but actually they wanted to talk to the previous manager. And of course, from their point of view, they're taking a risk by bringing that person on. They're taking any person on. But of course, it's an investment of their time and money, setting up accommodation, logistics, and in fairness, they wanted to. That's what they wanted to do. That's their choice, and it worked. But as Mark said, it's not for everyone, but it does happen, and it can happen. And I think being prepared and being open for that with a hiring manager is a good thing if you do what you say you can do and all the rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Got the final question from Kerry. Kerry's a data scientist. Shame we haven't got Aaron still here tonight. He's off interviewing a candidate. Kerry wanted to ask us, wanted to know if she should stay in retail or work in other industries where there might be better opportunities to grow, given the state of the market, although she loves retail. What's your opinion of that?
Well, difficult one. I mean, you talk about better opportunities there, which would lead me to think that you're looking for a better opportunity. So I'd go with that. I mean, is it going to matter if you try something outside of retail, a couple of years out maybe? Could you always go back with something you love? I don't know. I don't know the options available to you, to be honest. But I'd say if you are looking to open up to yourself new opportunities and, as you say, better opportunities, I'd say probably have a look around, explore those. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. But I think get yourself out there and put yourself in a position where you can make that judgment based on information and experience.
I was going to say, and clearly, Kerry, retail is going through a fundamental change and shift at the moment, but some retailers are excelling still. And also, it depends what type of retail. We haven't discussed if it's traditional bricks and mortar business or an online retailer. And there's a lot of technology companies feeding into those retailers, providing them data and data analysis, data analytics, and some very, very clever software. So you might even find another angle to go in while staying within the industry, but not working for one of the retailers directly.
Yeah, and I'd say, from what I've seen, data is quite transferable skill set. So, get out there and see what's happening. If it feels good, go for it.
Exactly. Take your choices. Thanks for that, Kerry. Thank you for everyone's questions this week. We'll be back again on Monday around about 5 o'clock for a Facebook Q&A live. And if you'd like to ask us any questions, you can jump on here on Facebook, send us a question. We'll be happy to answer it next week for you. Take care.
Have a good evening.